The Home Office can't say how many refugees it has given safe route asylums from some of the world's most dangerous countries. I'm going to read into this more from Byline Times, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is REGANELITE here with an article from Byline Times with the headline that the Home Office can't say how many refugees it has given safe route asylums from some of the world's most dangerous countries. A Freedom of Information request for the data by this newspaper was refused on cost grounds. Cost grounds? Excuse me? This is feels like one of those cover-ups, isn't it, guys? You know, safe routes are really important for refugees who want to legally come to the UK and contribute to our society. The problem is we have very little to none safe routes. My still understanding is that there is still a route for people in Ukraine and people in Hong Kong, but outside those two particular nations, there doesn't appear to be any safe routes for some of the other world's most dangerous countries. There's a lot of countries out there. People are fleeing war, persecution, all sorts of things, and they want somewhere to come. And one of those countries that people want to come to is the United Kingdom. That's not to say that they don't want to go to France, America, or other nations that may be beneficial to them, but we still should play our part in this. It's really important to remember the humanity about this as well. I am rinsing and repeating a lot of things that I've said before, but I do feel it's important to stress those things when it comes to the handling of immigration. But I also believe that we should have a right to know this information because it is our taxpayer money that is being spent on asylum seekers for the hotels, accommodation, barges and whatnot. And we're spending a lot of money to so-called stop the boats, to stop illegal migration coming into the UK. So shouldn't we not have a right to know where legal routes are being given and how many it's been given? Is that not a right that the British public should be entitled to? Let me know what you think in the comments below. So the Home Office has refused to reveal how many asylum seekers from some of the world's most volatile nations have been granted leave to remain via safe and legal routes by the government. A Freedom of Information FOI request by Byline Times sought a breakdown of asylum applications and approvals from 5 of the most dangerous countries in 2022. Afghanistan, Syria, Somalia, Ethiopia and Myanmar. The Home Office denied the request, arguing to do so would exceed the £600 Freedom of Information request set limit, and it will require someone to manually review and match data across these different systems. Do you know what? Imagine if I wonder if the Byline Times came up and said, here's £600, give us the information. Would they still give the information? It raises questions about the transparency of immigration data and whether asylum seekers from some of the rest of the world's conflict hotspots can ever claim sanctuary in the UK without resorting to crossing the channel in a small boat. See? Col Steve Smith of refugee charity Care for Callous has told Byline Times that the assertion that collecting data on how many people arrive via safe and legal asylum routes will be too expensive defies belief. It doesn't. This is desperation to keep quiet about it all. He says the suspicion must therefore be that the numbers provided would be meagre. He said. So low, in fact, that they would highlight the fact that unless coming from Ukraine or Hong Kong, there are no effective, safe and legal routes. The government said it offers a variety of safe and legal routes for refugees and vulnerable individuals from around the world. These include UK's visa and extradition scheme, the route from British national overseas holders from Hong Kong, various resettlement schemes and family union visas that allow partners and children of those in the UK with refugee status to be reunited. But that's all they're saying is Ukraine, Hong Kong, none of these other countries that we just mentioned, Somalia, Ethiopia, Afghanistan, they're not mentioning them, are they, guys? Some additional people are identified for resettling by the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, but those are not routes that individuals can apply to in a convenience sense. Despite such ways and means, there appears to be no centralised database to capture the number of all asylum seekers arriving by them. This of particular concern was given the levels of threat that some civilians face in the world's hotspots. In particular, 2022 saw Afghanistan, Syria, Somalia and Ethiopia facing high numbers of global civilian casualties from explosive violence outside of Ukraine. True, like they've gone through a lot. Syria is in in so many civil wars and conflicts are taking place there. Afghanistan is obviously still recovering from what's happened with ISIS and obviously the Taliban taking over there, and the way that women have been kind of the way that women's rights have kind of been eroded there since the Taliban have taken over. You know, the complete withdrawal from the United States there. And then there was also not only that for Afghanistan, there was obviously late last year, Pakistan basically pushed out all Afghans from their nation, which meant they all had to flood into Afghanistan, which means there's a huge amount of refugees there now. Somalia has been a long conflicts and civil wars and violence. It's been a never-ending thing. Ethiopia has had there's been countless problems within that nation. It's even more difficult for them. One of the things that Ethiopia struggle with from an economic point of view is not having any land on the sea, on the Red Sea, which is something they've constantly tried to dispute and get back for quite a while as well. So all these nations have great deals of problems, guys. And it's the innocent, as always, guys, that ends up the ones who are suffering in all this, and we continue to forget about them. At least the mainstream media does. The highest number of global citizen casualties from explosive violence outside of Ukraine. According to the data on asylum applications from all routes, in 2022 there were 89,398 UK claims made from all countries around the world. This is made up markedly from a decade just when 29,000 applied for asylum in the UK in 2013. Reports of all asylum claims from Afghanistan in 2022 were 10,872. Ethiopia just saw 844. Syria had 4,500. Somalia had 558, and 136 people from Myanmar. Now, it's entirely possible that those from Myanmar is much less because it's from the other side of the world, but that might be one of the reasons why the number is so low. But that could be the reason. However, the published data did not show how many of these were so-called safe and legal routes and how many arrived via small boat. The government has avoided any claims to asylums by those arriving in the UK via the channel. Anyone illegally entering the UK would be prevented from accessing the UK's world-leading modern slavery support or abusing these laws to block their removal, it has said. Any other challenges of human rights claims can also be heard after removal remotely. Meanwhile, the restrictions on how many people can claim asylum in this way has been further tightened according to the Home Office. The government has reduced the number of asylum seekers given resettlement and relocations from the years ending in September 2022 and September 2023 from 6,733 to 1,810, a drop of some 73%. The government's refusal on cost grounds to say how much asylum seekers have arrived outside small boats route and where they have come from echoes wider fears that there are no effective safe routes to those fleeing war. Last year, Byline Times visited Calais to interview people trying to board small boats to cross the Channel to Britain. Mangal, a 42-year-old Afghan, told this newspaper, "If I had to choose a safer legal route, I'd be in a coffin now." Having once been a contractor for the alliance forces of Afghanistan, his family is now targeted by the Taliban. He said they had killed a brother. Evidence shows this newspaper sustaining his claims. The British officials in Pakistan couldn't help me, he said. If I went back to Afghanistan, there is nobody there to assist. So what could I do? Where would I go but here to Calais? It seems even those who make the journey via safe routes the government deems illegal do not find the sanctuary they seek. One Afghan refugee, a shopkeeper called Faram, is currently in the UK. He told Byline Times that after the coalition left, the Taliban shot my father, then my brother, and I knew they would kill me too. And the day I left, I heard they were in my house. See, This guy lost his family. He lost everything. He had nowhere else to go. He couldn't stay where he would. If he stayed where he was, guys, he was going to die. How would you feel if that was you and you lost somebody? You know, if you think of your family for a moment, just imagine someone taking the lives of people that you love and care about, and your only way out is to leave your home, leave your country that you've been born and raised in. What a horrible, horrible feeling to live on that. Absolutely horrible. And then to find yourself in a situation where you're not even welcome here. Fallon made his way to the UK and is now in the asylum centre of Wakefield Air Base, more than a mile outside the Essex village of the same name. I thought I would be safe here, but instead they put me in Wethersfield, which feels as dangerous as Afghanistan was for me, he added. No one tells us how long we will be here, but we hear about frightening things like Rwanda or the refugee who died on the barge. But we fear what they will do to us. I asked myself if I could become so depressed I would kill myself too. I hope not, but I do not know how long I can live like this. Farron told Byline Times he was not eligible for any of the UK's Afghan asylum schemes, so felt forced to take a legal route via the Channel small boat. Ian Oliver will soon officially join the board for the charity's Care for Callous. Ian Oliver is the executive director of Action on Armed Violence charity. This has been written by him, guys. Care for Callous has been really fighting, been fighting very hard to protect the lives of those to try and protect people's lives in all this, guys. So, once again, guys, information and knowing about like how the immigration system and how it's being managed. You know, we're talking about, this is not so much about the systems that we have in the UK. This is about what we're doing to help those around the world, especially from the most dangerous countries. And basically the answer is, from what we've gathered from this, is that we're not helping anyone apart from Ukraine and Hong Kong. Any other nation that wants any kind of refugee status or whatsoever, the UK is not interested in taking them in any way, shape or form. Doesn't matter if they've got history here or they've got family, they don't want nothing to do with them. And that appears to be the case. Now, the argument, obviously, I'm already prepared to see them in the comments, is, we're full, we can't take any more refugees. Yeah, I've heard that one already. What you know, again, where's your humanity? Like, I always try to tell people, try and put yourself in someone else's shoes before jumping to conclusions and making assumptions. Now, I've argued that obviously there is a small majority of those who come to the UK seeking not with the intentions of doing good here in the UK. But the vast majority of people who come here because they believe the United Kingdom will, if they come to the UK because they will want to work here, they want to make a difference, they want to contribute to our society, contribute to our economy, all that kind of stuff. And isn't that what we want to do? Don't we want to, like, you know, I hear this term all the time about grow the economy. Well, if everybody was contributing to the economy, would it not grow? You know, but we can't really do that because we have people sitting in hotels, barges and whatnot with their asylum claims not being processed because there's not enough people in the Home Office to process them. Oh, that's right, because of austerity and cuts to the civil service. That might have been the reason why as well. So what's the solution, guys? What do you guys think? What is the solution? Why do you honestly think, why would they not tell the people about the safe routes that we have? Is it only just Ukraine and Hong Kong? Are there other safe routes that you guys maybe know about? Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think it's right that the government should hold that freedom of information request from us? Because I believe they should have a right to tell us, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are. Before you go, if you can, hit the like button, be greatly appreciated. Share this across social media and hit that bell notification icon so you'll be notified when I upload another video. And if you want to financially support me, you can do so by joining me on YouTube, membership for just 99p, or getting exclusive content on Patreon. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.